Hey, what's up, y'all? Man, I'm out here struggling, got vlogger's block right now, so I'm trying to figure this video out. So I decided I wanted to take a mochi break. So for those of you who like mochi, I'm just gonna take a mochi break. Maybe my sugar's low, I don't know what's going on. I mean, this message is coming from my heart, so I don't know what's making it so hard for me to record, but I am having vlogger's block right now. Man, this mochi's bomb right here. Boom, 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 boom. I got a question for you. If you could share one message with the world, what would that message be? Now, I know for me, if I were to share one message with the world, it would start with the words, realize with your realize. Now, let me say that one more time. Realize with your realize. Now, some of you may have seen my Instagram page, my Twitter feed. Some of you might have checked out my website already and seen my demo video. Or maybe some of you might have seen my latest spoken word that I just released here on YouTube called Realize with Your Realize. And so there's a lot of history and there's a lot of meaning behind that. And today I wanted to speak to that and just share, how did that even all come about? So in 2014, 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to become a youth speaker. So I was looking up different programs, looking at how I could do that, and I found a program called Youth Speaker University that was ran and headed by a guy named Josh Shipp. And so throughout this program, and it's a really great program, part of it is finding your niche or finding your message. Like, you don't want to be the jack of all trades and master of none, or you don't want to have all these different, messages and things out there. Like, if you could just narrow down to one message, what would it be? And so at the time, it sounded like realize with your realize the value of having healthy relationships in your life. I'm gonna say that one more time. Realize with your realize the value of having healthy relationships in your life. And the reason I came up with that was because I thought about my childhood and I thought about my upbringings and I thought about how my parents divorced when I was 3 months old and how I was in a blended family. And I was thinking about how growing up in some rough parts of my neighborhood had drugs and alcohol and violence and had all those things around me. Friends and family members that were caught up in all that type of stuff. And I was thinking to myself, like, how come I didn't end up in jail, or how come I didn't end up, addicted to drugs or alcohol, or, or how come I didn't end up, with a life that, is a really hard life, and I think about, because I was easily around all that, I could have easily been part of that statistic. But as I reflect and think about all of that, it was every single person and every healthy relationship in my life that helped me get to where I am today. Helped me get through those hard times. So I didn't have to, get involved with illegal activity. I didn't have to get involved with gangs or drugs or violence. I didn't have to get involved in all that, even though it was around me, and I'm not claiming to be perfect either. Don't get me wrong. I had my moments of mistakes, but overall, it was the healthy relationships in my life that helped me get through it. And I think about it today, my cousins and all of my coaches and all the sports that I did, from basketball to karate to bowling. I think about all the people that were, involved in my faith journey at church. I think about even my parents, and at times where, I didn't really see them as having my back or wanting the best for me. But now that I've realized with my realize, that was actually one of the most healthy relationships I had in my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I know for a lot of us out there that are watching this video, there are probably people in our lives that are blood related to us that might not be the healthiest relationships in our life. And that's why I started thinking to myself, well, you know what? Realize with your realize the value of healthy relationships in your life. But then I was like, well, now what? And so I came up with this process, and it's a 3-step process. It's zoom in. Everyone said to me, zoom in. All right, so here, take your camera, zoom in, zoom out, and press record. Now, I'm not going to talk in too much detail about those 3 steps today in this video, but it's real simple. Zoom in, right, on who you really are. What are you all about? In your heart of hearts, who do you want to become? What kind of person do you want to be in this world? What do you stand for? What are your morals? What are your beliefs? What are your passions? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Who is the real you? So you zoom in on that and you figure that out first. And then you zoom out. And once you zoom out, then you start looking around, like, are the people in my life currently supporting this person who I really want to be, or this person who I really am? You know, are the people I'm hanging out with at school, or the people I work with, or my family members, are they truly supporting me in who I am? Are there, you know, are these relationships helpful or are they hurtful? And what I talk about in this process is, and if they are hurtful, because some of the relationships that we have that are unhealthy, unfortunately and sadly, are even the ones we have at home. The ones that we have with our parents or our siblings, or maybe even our cousins and you know, other relatives. And so what I talk about is like, hey, you know what, that doesn't mean cut them out of your life. That doesn't mean, you know, be done with them. But what that means is, hey, you know what, I've realized with my realize that, you know, this is who I want to be. And I realize that what we're doing, or our relationship or our connection, doesn't work and doesn't support that. You know, start the conversation with those family members and those friends. You know, because at the end of the day, if they're not helping you, then they're hurting you. And they're, you know, they're slowing you down and holding you back from you becoming the best you becoming the you that you've always wanted to be. So realize with your realize, and then after that, press record, right? Take action. So now that you know who you are and who you want to be, now you've kind of realized, you know, who's helpful and hurtful in my life in terms of relationships, right? With the friendships that I have, maybe a boyfriend or girlfriend, or a husband or a wife, or whatever that might be, right? Your, you know, all the different relationships you have in your life, which are helpful and which are hurtful. And then after that, take action, press record. If the camera was on you right now, from the moment you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, you know, is that someone you would follow? It's another program that I have called Would You Follow You? And so when I think about all the different things that, you know, we do in our lives, and all the different, you know, actions that we make, are the actions we're taking helping us or hurting us? Are we realizing with our realize the value of the healthy relationships we have in our life? Right? And so I don't want to go too much into it right now, but I will say this. Take a look back at some of the hardest times in your life. Think about, you know, times when the struggle was real for you. And think about the person or the people in your life in that moment, at that time, that had your back, that came through for you. And do me a favor and just thank them. Thank them for being there for you. Thank them for having your back. Let them know, say, hey, you know, I realized with my realize at that moment in my life, or that time in my life that was real rough, you were one of the most healthy relationships in my life at that time, and I thank you for that. Because when you start doing that, and you start recognizing all the healthy relationships you had in your life, it also helps you realize the unhealthy relationships. And like I said, it doesn't mean that if you have an unhealthy relationship that you got to cut them out or get rid of them, you know, right away. But start the conversation. Let them know who you are and what you stand for, and try to figure a way so you can make that relationship healthy. And if not, then it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. Some of our relationships in our lives are gonna last this long, and some of them are gonna last this long. But no matter how much time you've had with someone, that relationship served a purpose. It served a purpose for you to learn something and for them to learn something. So with that being said, when I think about realize with your realize, we are talking about using the eyes of our heart to operate. You know, so when I decided I want to do this for youth speaking, you know, my daughter was one of the inspirations and the youth that I worked with, because I wanted them to have these healthy relationships and value them. I wanted them to value the healthy relationships they had in their lives. So, and the same goes for you. Whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, take a moment and really think about, like, who had my back? Who was really there? You know, and a lot of the times it's the people we least expect. Could have been a coworker, could have been a friend from school. It could have been maybe something that you've seen on social media. It could be this YouTube right now. It could be this video right now. Whatever it was that helped you get through that, the people that were there for you, the people that had your back from the jump or from day one or in that moment, honor them, thank them. Because the more that we can realize with our realize, the more happy we'll be, the more free we'll be. So, with that being said, you guys, thank you again for just taking a couple minutes to hear my message. And there's gonna be more, I'm gonna be releasing more videos about this process, about zooming in, zooming out, and pressing record and all that good stuff. But right now I just kind of wanted to share how Realize with Your Realize even started. Click on the links. I'm gonna put the video up here, my latest video. It's gonna be on this side of my Realize with Your Realize spoken word. And this piece was made in 2014. So yes, I'm like 3 years behind, but you know, better late than never. And for all of you watching who have been in my life, who have seen me grow up, or have been there through my toughest and hardest times, I just want to say I love you. Thank you for having my back. And I have realized with my Realize the value of having you in my life. So take care, everyone. Remember, join the tribe, click subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. Peace. What I love about working with young people